and this is not a tutorial so much as it is a pedalboard walkthrough. I don't know if that'll be interesting to anyone. I watch a lot of people's pedalboard videos, so if you're kind of a pedal geek like I am, it might be interesting. Or if you're just building a pedalboard for worship or for other reasons, it might be nice to see what's out there. So let's look at mine. This is an overview of the pedalboard, top down. It's set up on a Pedal Train PT2, which is a pretty good sized pedalboard. You can see I fit 9 pedals on there, and some of them are kind of big. So over here on the right, I have it start with my wah pedal, which is, I think, the first pedal you're supposed to go into in pedalboard terms. There are signal flow reasons for that. I don't use wah very often, but when you need one, there's no substitute for it really, so it just kind of lives on here, and from time to time I need to wah something. I think most people know what those sound like. Next to it I have my volume pedal, which I never had one of these until I started playing at church regularly, but it's sort of a church staple. It lets you do, volume swell type stuff, so... Alright, next up over here I have this top row of pedals. This MXR Dynacomp on the right, I have always on. It's kind of subtle, but it just makes everything sound better to me. Here's without it, just kind of a... And then with... It brightens up the sound, it kind of rounds it out and levels it off. I just always have that on. Next to it is a Planet Waves tuner, which is my favorite tuner. It does what tuners do, but I just happen to really like it. And then next to that is this Boss DD3 delay, which is my favorite delay. I've had this since I was like 13 or something. It's just a really cool delay. The only thing it's missing is any kind of a tap tempo feature, so you have to kind of dial in the settings to match the speed of the song. But I have this on almost all of the time when I'm doing clean stuff and leads. Like anything I'm doing that's not big chunky power chords, I would pretty much use this. So it's just kind of a... So just a really beautiful sounding, nice delay. It's really easy to use. Then next to that is this Dan Electro Cool Cat Tremolo. You have to say it like that because there's an exclamation mark on the end. I don't use this terribly often, but it also costs like $30, so it's worth keeping around. Just gives you this kind of tremolo, like... It's a funny shape, and it was interesting to try to fit it into the pedalboard, but it's worth having. And for as cheap as it is, it's true bypass. The enclosure is like rock solid metal, so it feels well made and everything. Next up on this bottom row, I have my Overdrive, which is an Ibanez tube screamer. Those are pretty industry standard for overdrives. I don't think this will be new to a lot of people, but I like it a lot. It can get pretty heavy without losing definition of like the chords and the notes that you're playing. And then next to it is my newest pedal, the Flashback from TC Electronic, which can do 9 or so different settings, but what I basically bought it for is dotted eighth note delays, which is when you play a couple of notes and it fills in a bunch of extra notes for you. So this sort of thing. Which you can actually hear on the intro song I use for these YouTube videos. So it's kind of like this. So just a cool effect. If you're not doing that with it, the other thing I like to do with having 2 delay pedals is dial them in for different tempos, so that I could be using the Boss, and then if we play a song that's like a really different speed, I'll just switch to this one instead of get down on the floor and mess with knobs. And then this last pedal is the Cathedral by Electro-Harmonix, which is my largest and most expensive pedal, but totally worth it. This can do kind of like the TC. It can do a bunch of different settings. I mostly use the Hall, so it sounds like this. And then one of the features the feature that pretty much sold me on this one is this infinite button on the left. You can hit a chord or something and it'll just hold out the ring forever until you let your foot up off of that. So it's really nice if you don't have a keyboard player. You can almost kind of make pads behind yourself. So here's that in action. I'll hit a chord and then do it. Now I'm not playing anything anymore, but it's just ringing out like this, and I can add stuff on top of it. So that can be nice, especially at church for like transitions between songs and stuff. I can just have that keep ringing out while I'm doing stuff. So those are the pedals individually, but if you're making a pedal board for church or whatever, it's going to be obviously more about the interplay between them. Here are some combos. If you put the reverb on and the delay and the compressor, you can get kind of just a nice clean sound. And then if I kill the reverb and put on the distortion, the compressor will give me a nice sustain and the delay will make it sound really nice. Doing lead type stuff. And then if you want to do volume swells, the more delays and reverbs and stuff you have on, the better. And then you can do this kind of great, like. Now, the only time I can think of that I would ever turn on all of the delays and the reverb is if you're doing some real, like, explosions in the sky post-rock type stuff, like a lot of tremolo picking. Which can be cool at church if it works in the song. Just kind of a... And then in my case, I have that infinite switch on the Cathedral, so I can even kind of do my own rhythm section. Like... Anyway, those are the pedals that I use, so hopefully that's helpful if you're new to the pedalboard game or you're just looking to upgrade. Thanks for watching.